to the Open Scoring MMA podcast. No secrets, no bias, just the real fight game. Let's get ready.
Welcome to Open Scoring MMA. This is episode 41 for July 29th, 2026. Your daily look at what's happening now and next across the world of MMA and UFC. So Ronda Rousey is back in the news, and she's not holding back, Nora. She's really going after UFC executive Hunter Campbell, saying he doesn't know how to market anybody.
Yeah, she's been pretty vocal about it. She and Gina Carano just headlined an MVP MMA event on Netflix that pulled in over 17 million viewers for the main event.
17 million. That's a huge number. And Rousey is basically saying, look what you missed out on, UFC. She's still mad that Campbell apparently told Gina Carano he didn't know how he was going to market a couple of 40-year-olds.
That's the quote she gave to. She said it was extremely validating to have that success after Campbell's comments.
Stupid. That's the word she used to describe him. It sounds like there's a lot of bad blood there, going back to her request to fight Carano inside the octagon, which the UFC apparently turned down.
Right, and she's not ruling out an MVP MMA too, so this rivalry with Campbell might just be getting started.
It's interesting to see her still so engaged, even after all this time. You'd think she'd be past it, but clearly she's not.
Well, when you feel disrespected, that kind of motivation can stick around for a long time, especially when you then go out and prove them wrong on such a big stage.
Absolutely. Moving on to some really concerning news. Former UFC fighter Anthony Smith was arrested this week.
Yeah, that's right. He was arrested Monday night in Nebraska on 3 felony charges: domestic violence causing serious bodily injury, terroristic threats, and false imprisonment.
That's incredibly serious. He challenged for the light heavyweight title back in 2019, and he's also been an analyst for UFC broadcasts. This is a huge fall.
He appeared before a judge and has since been released from Sarpy County Jail after posting a $500,000 bond.
$500,000. That's a substantial bond, which really underscores the gravity of the charges he's facing. It's a tough situation for everyone involved.
It is. These are very serious allegations, and we'll have to see how the legal process unfolds.
Definitely. We'll keep an eye on that. Now, let's switch gears a little. John Jones is still out there, doubling down on his claims.
He is. Jones, who has tested positive for banned substances multiple times in his career, recently claimed that he never took steroids.
Never took steroids. That's a bold statement from someone with his history of failed tests. It's hard to reconcile that with the facts.
It's a narrative he's sticking to, despite the multiple positive tests for banned substances during his UFC career. It's a consistent stance from him, regardless of the evidence.
I mean, the record is pretty clear on that front. It's a tough sell for the fans, I think. Speaking of tough sells, Islam Makhachev is talking about Conor McGregor's injury.
Makhachev said he feels bad for Conor McGregor over the knee injury that spoiled his UFC 329 return. But he also said he expected Max Holloway to win anyway.
He told, quote, "I knew Max was going to beat him, but not fast like this in the first minute. I want to see how we fight after 5 years, and honestly, feel bad when this happens," end quote.
He reiterated that to Middle Easy, saying, quote, "Honestly, I feel bad, but I know Max is going to beat him, but not like fast like this, in the first minute," end quote. He just didn't expect it to be an injury finish.
So a little sympathy, but also a little "I told you so" mixed in there. It's a classic fighter response, isn't it? They'll offer condolences, but they'll always back their own read on the fight.
Exactly. It's a way of acknowledging the unfortunate circumstances while still maintaining confidence in their own assessment of the matchup.
And speaking of confidence, Justin Gaethje is getting some advice not to retire.
Yeah, an ex-UFC fighter urged him not to retire, saying he needs to take advantage of his title win. Word is Gaethje finished Ilia Topuria in a recent main event.
Quote, "Don't forget what we're doing is prize fighting," end quote. That's what the ex-fighter told Bloody Elbow. It's a good point, especially when you're at the top.
It is. When you've reached that pinnacle, there's a strong argument to be made for maximizing your earnings and legacy while you can. The window for a fighter is often short.
Absolutely. You got to strike while the iron's hot. Now let's talk about some call-outs. PFL champion Thad Jean is making some noise.
He is. Thad Jean is ranking himself above Ian Machado Gary when addressing casual fans, saying, "I'm top 3.
I'm top 3. That's a bold claim, especially when comparing himself to a UFC fighter like Gary. He's arguing that people aren't true MMA fans if they discount PFL fighters.
It's a common sentiment among PFL fighters, trying to bridge that perceived gap in recognition. He's trying to elevate the PFL's standing in the eyes of the broader MMA community.
And then we've got Uros Medic, the UFC Serbia star, calling his shot.
Word is Medic is scheduled to headline the first UFC event in Serbia, and he's exuding confidence, not just for his upcoming fight, but also against Carlos Paredes.
He told Full Send MMA that he'd defeat the Brazilian Carlos Paredes. Quote, "I can knock him out," end quote.
That's a direct challenge. It shows he's looking beyond his immediate opponent and has his sights set on bigger things.
You gotta love that kind of confidence, especially when you're headlining your home country's first UFC event. That's a lot of pressure, but he's embracing it.
He certainly is. It's a way to build hype and show he's ready for bigger challenges.
And speaking of big challenges, Dan Hooker is getting a massive payday for his next fight.
He confirmed he's getting his biggest career payday by a country mile to welcome a UFC debutante. We're hearing that debutante could be Saladin Parnasse.
Parnasse has reportedly turned down the UFC multiple times before, so he's clearly a high-value prospect. It makes sense that Hooker would be well compensated for taking on someone like that, especially in enemy territory.
It does. Taking on a highly touted debutante who's previously rejected the UFC means the promotion sees a lot of potential in Parnasse, and they're willing to pay for a tough test for him.
Yeah, that's a smart move by Hooker. Get paid big to fight a dangerous guy. All right, that's all the time we have for today's Open Scoring MMA. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll catch you next time.
Before you go, two quick things. Check out our free fight tracker at tracker.openscoringmma.com with every upcoming UFC and PFL card, live odds, and where to watch all in one place. And follow us on YouTube. Just search Open Scoring MMA for breaking news alerts, fight breakdowns, and videos you won't get here on the feed. That's it for today's Open Scoring MMA. Keep your hands up, and we'll see you next time.